I had a high paid, professional career that I left in order to do coaching, and I'm very excited that I made that decision. If that's you, you're kind of maybe even watching this at work on the low. Oh no. I won't tell if that is you. You're in luck because we're gonna get into it right now. Hey, CourtneyLSanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time certified 7-figure life and business coach, as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things. And I've been doing all the things since I was working my full-time job in corporate America. Technically, I was actually a federal employee, but I worked in banking and finance. And so it was definitely one of those good government jobs. I had good benefits. And by the time that I left, I was making nearly 6 figures and I was only 28 at the time. So, I had a high-powered, high-paid, professional career that I left in order to do coaching. And I'm very excited that I made that decision because thus far it has proved to be the right decision. And I know I have many in my audience who are looking to do the same. In fact, I wanted to do this video specifically around having a high-paying or high-powered job because I know that there are particular nuances that make it difficult to just, start a business on the side, right? A lot of videos are very flippant about that. Like, oh, it's easy, just start a business on the side while you're working your job. There's not a lot of consideration around what it takes or how you can approach it, especially if you have a high paying and high powered role. So if that's you, you're kind of maybe even watching this at work on the low. Oh no. I won't tell if that is you. You're in luck because we're gonna get into it right now. All right, the first tip, and this is actually the biggest thing. So I was like, we're just gonna talk about this right up front. If you are working a high-paying, high-powered job and you're trying to build this business on the side, you don't want to burn out and you're like, what do I do? Understand that you are going to have to change how you look at your performance and how you approach your performance at work. And I know this is scary, especially for those of you who work in the US, right? We all know, we've all heard stories about, US work culture and, how there's this expectation that you are always to go above and beyond. I find that particularly when you get into higher paying positions, maybe you are in a position of leadership, there's this kind of implicit unspoken fear that you need to do more than what is required or what is in your job description, or you need to go above and beyond. And while that's great, right? I mean, I'm an employer. Who doesn't love employees who go above and beyond? I find that particularly in a corporate context, and again, for a lot of those high paying positions, oftentimes people in those positions are always like on call, they're taking on extra projects, they're working on the weekends or on holidays, and they're doing like truly above and beyond, like in an unhealthy way. They do that because there is this fear that should a layoff come or should there be some sort of restructuring, that they don't want to be on the chopping block. And so there's this idea that if I'm always doing more, like beyond just like, oh, I'm a great employee and I care about the mission of the company and I want to do more, but this kind of like fear-based, oh my goodness, it's my child's 5th birthday party and I'm scared to turn my work phone off because what if they need me, right? That's not healthy. That type of working above and beyond, oftentimes I find that people in these types of positions do that because they want to be seen as indispensable, right? They don't ever want to be one of the ones that are like irreplaceable. And so they believe that if they produce a high volume of work, even though they're already doing a lot per the position that they're hired for, that's why they get paid a lot, that, maybe they won't be replaceable. And so I say this because if that's you, right? You're a 6-figure, maybe even multi-6-figure earners, right? On the low, I have a lot of people who come to me who are making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, who have stock options and bonuses, and they make a lot of money. One, they're fearful, like, oh my goodness, am I even going to be able to make this type of income in my own coaching business? And the answer is yes, you can. One of my best clients actually was a pediatrician, a doctor, right? Who left her position and makes more in her coaching business after working with me than she did as a doctor. So even if you're a high paid professional, it can be done, but understand that as you do build this business on the side, you're going to have to let that mindset of, always being on call and always jumping, for every project and doing above and beyond, not in a healthy, I'm passionate about the company way, but in this fear-based, oh my goodness, I don't want to be the first one on the chopping block for layoffs way. You're going to have to let that go because it's just not feasible for you to work at that pace, right? You're already kind of burning yourself out in your position, and now you're building this business on the side. It's just not feasible. So, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you in this video and say like, oh yeah, it's totally fine for you to take every, travel work assignment, or for you to take up every project, and for you to keep your, work phone on you at all times. Like, no, you're not gonna be able to do that and to work this business. But understand the goal of building your business on the side is because you're not trying to have longevity in your company. You are ready to pivot. You are ready to do something new. And so really you have to come to terms with being okay that should there be a layoff, maybe you will be one of the ones to go because you're no longer raising your hand to do all these like crazy above and beyond projects, and that's okay because you're devoting your extra time to your business, and your business is now your safety net. So this is the mindset shift. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too, where you still want your corporate job to be your safety net, but then you want to build this business that's going to replace your corporate job, and that's going to be your safety net. Like, you have to make a decision. You have to decide, right? It's kind of cliche, but we talk about the Latin root of the word, decide. Side means to cut off, right? So you're going to have to mentally cut off this idea that your corporate job is your safety net, and you're going to have to be okay with being replaceable because you're not, jumping at every project anymore, because you're going to need some of that energy to devote to your business. So that's really the first step. It's this mindset shift that you have to make, and just doing it, right? Like, when it's 5 o'clock, go home. Whenever you get off work, if it's 6 o'clock, go home, right? If it's the weekend, close your work laptop, turn off your work phone. Like, yes, I know there's others in your office who are taking those calls and are, jumping, and maybe the boss is gonna like them more because they're doing those above and beyond things that you used to do that you're not doing, but you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? You have to devote some extra time to build your business, and so you can't be on call 24/7 for your corporate job. And again, I bring this up because I know this is a real issue for my high paid professional viewers who are making multi-six figures, have stock options, etc. This is kind of the work pace that they're doing. And so you're gonna have to be okay with saying no to some of those things, setting boundaries. I'm not telling you not to do a good job at work. I'm saying do a good job at work, not at home when you're supposed to be off work, right? You're gonna have to have stronger boundaries and really change your mindset. All right, the next thing that you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to get serious about delegation. You're gonna have to get serious about delegation at work, and you're gonna have to get serious about delegation at home. And I say delegation at work because if you are one of those high paid professionals, right? This video's for you, you're watching it. Chances are you have an admin. And chances are, because I know how people in these roles operate, you have an admin that you are not using to their full abilities and capabilities because you are a control freak. I mean, let's just call it what it is, right? So there's a lot of work that's still on your plate that shouldn't be on your plate because you're supposed to be delegating it to other people on your team. You're supposed to be delegating it to your admin. If you are in a senior leadership position, you are supposed to be delegating it to your managers, who are supposed to be delegating it to their supervisors, who are supposed to be delegating it to, their frontline employees. I would bet money that there's a lot of work that's on your desk right now that maybe you allowed them to like get started on it, but you took it from them because you wanted to make sure that it was perfect. Because again, going back to the first step about changing your mindset, you're so concerned that the boss is gonna think that you're replaceable because you don't want your name to come up during layoffs, that everything has to be perfect and you always have to be, the last line of defense that goes through everything with a fine-tooth comb, and you become the bottleneck. And so that really frustrates your team, right? Because they're not able to do what they're hired to do, but ultimately that's stressful for you because you're doing work that really you should be delegating to other people. So if you have an admin or other people supporting you, which chances are you do because you're making this money because you're in a leadership position at work, you're gonna have to let some of that stuff go. And beyond letting things go at work, you're gonna have to let some things go at home. Maybe you're not in a position to, cook meals every night. And I say that, I raise my hand, as someone who has been working with a meal prep chef for over 2 years now, right? I love her, she's amazing. She and her sous chef, they come in on a Monday, they do all my grocery shopping, they order stuff on Instacart, it comes to the house, they get there, they meal prep, they put everything in nice little glass containers, they put in the fridge, and my family and I have healthy, delicious meals to eat for the entire week. And before you're like, oh my goodness, that's so extravagant, actually no, we save money on our grocery bill. Like, I kid you not, we were spending, I'm not even gonna say it because it was outrageous, but when we were buying our own groceries, we were spending so much money because we were buying groceries that we weren't cooking, and so the food was going to waste. And then on top of that, we were still buying Chipotle last minute because we got to feed the kids and whatever. And so we're like buying groceries, but they're going to waste. So then we're going out and we're doing DoorDash and paying DoorDash fees. It just ended up being a lot of money. So yes, I have to pay a fee to my meal prep chef, but she is so good. She can come into my house and just look at what we already have on hand, what type of meat we already have in the freezer, etc., vegetables, whatever. And she cooks what we have. And so oftentimes her grocery bills, I kid you not, are like $20, $30, right? So I save money having her cook than I was spending trying to do it all myself. And then of course I save time. So again, you are a high paid professional. Start using some of your pay to delegate at home so that you have more free time to work on this side business, whether it's a meal prep chef, whether it's a housekeeper, whether it's having your dry cleaning even just picked up. Oftentimes there are dry cleaning services that for an extra $5 or $10 or whatever will come to your house and pick up your dry cleaning versus you rushing after work to stop and get those clothes that you need for the office. So start to think about what are the things that you can delegate in your personal life that will free up time for you to work on your business. All right, the next thing that you need to do that you're actually in a really unique position to do, but again, I find that so many entrepreneurs in general don't do this, but especially not my high paid professionals, is you want to only offer high value offers or services to high value clients. What do I mean by that? I mean, yes, the price point of what you are offering should be up there, but you should be offering it to other high paid professionals, other high performing professionals, other people who have more money than they have time, because that is what is going to allow you to not only quit your job, but replace the salary that you are making. And I say this because so many high paid professionals, charge what they're worth at work, right? They negotiated their salary and they got those stock options and, they have these huge compensation packages. But when it comes to starting their own business, they're like, tiptoeing around, oh, it's gonna be $150 for a coaching session. Like what? You of all people should not be selling $150 coaching sessions. One, because you can't afford to, right? Because when you think about what it takes for you to operate this business and for you to maintain your lifestyle, if you're gonna leave your corporate job, you need to be offering something that's worth more. But notice I'm using the word high value, not just high price, because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna, charge a lot for my coaching, or I'm gonna have a high price coaching. High price coaching doesn't mean anything if it's not worth it, right? So if you focus on the high value, meaning you're giving a lot of value, by definition, the price will be commensurate with the value that you're offering. So always focus on the value before you focus on the price. But if you want high prices, you need to be able to offer high value. So think about what are some things that other colleagues of yours struggle with that you could coach on, or you could provide as a service or as a consultant. What are some things that you've seen in your line of business, or even not in your line of business? Just again, you have a unique vantage point because of the people that you network with, the type of colleagues that you have. You tend to see things at a very high level. If you are at a leadership position, you tend to see how the wealthy do things, right? Or either high paid professionals, maybe you're gonna go into a field that has nothing to do with what you're working at, at your corporate job, but maybe you speak with other, say, high powered corporate moms, and they all talk about how they struggle with, XYZ or this in their marriages or their relationships. And you're like, oh, I wanna do relationship coaching. That's great. Just make sure that it's high value relationship coaching for high value clients so that you're able to earn the type of revenue that you need to earn in order to replace your corporate income. All right, and speaking of high value offers and high value clients, the fourth thing that you need to do if you want to transition from your high paying job into your business and not burn out in the process is you need to focus on high value activities only. Sometimes I call these ROI activities or high ROI activities. And by ROI, that is an acronym that stands for return on investment. But again, if you're a high paid professional working in the corporate world, you already know that because so much of what you do at work is about that bottom line, right? And it's about helping your company or the corporation that you work for ultimately get the ROI that they're looking for out of your salary, right? So with that in mind, you need to hold yourself to the same standard within your business. I say this because so many high paid, high powered corporate professionals get into their businesses and they're stuck in the minutia. They're like fiddling with Canva for 3 weeks, trying to figure out how to come up with a logo, or, they're like logging into GoDaddy, trying to figure out, okay, how do I build this website? Ma'am. Sir, what are you doing? You need to not be focused on that. Those are things that you can delegate from the start, right? You can pay somebody, and you have the means to be able to afford that. You could pay somebody to build you a website. It doesn't have to be very expensive. You could pay someone to get you a logo. Again, it doesn't have to be very expensive. And those aren't even the things that I would focus on from the start. I would focus on crafting my offer, right? I would focus on having sales calls with potential clients. I would focus on content creation, right? Think about the tasks that you can be doing that are gonna have a direct impact on on your bottom line and a direct impact in people getting to know your business and ultimately signing up for a call with you or a consultation call with you so that they can join your coaching program. So this is what I'm talking about in terms of high ROI activities. When you look at all the things that you have to do, right? Create a to-do list of everything that you need to do in your business for the week, for the month, whatever. Ask yourself, what are the things that I can actually delegate out? And what are the things that have a direct impact into someone potentially hiring me? Whatever things have a direct impact into someone potentially hiring you, those are the things that you need to focus on, because again, you don't have a lot of time, right? You might be already working 60 hours a week, just like in terms of your actual job description and what is required of your job, right? We've already eliminated you doing things that are not required and you doing this kind of fear-based above and beyond. But even with that, you're still gonna be working a lot of hours. So you wanna make sure that the time that you do have to yourself to focus on your business is very, very high ROI driven. So do not get bogged down in minutia. I don't wanna hear anybody talking to me about, oh, I need to register my LLC. Oh, I need to create a logo. Oh, I gotta set up a website. If you don't pay somebody to go ahead and do that for you, I mean, we're talking like hundreds of dollars, right? $300, $400, right? $1,000, $1,200, like pay someone to do that for you so that you can focus on the things that is gonna generate you tens of thousands of dollars in revenue. All right, and the fifth thing that you need to do to balance your high-paying job without getting burned out is you really need to own the season that you're in, right? And so this is another one of those mindset things. Just as we had to correct your mindset in the beginning in terms of all that fear-based activity that you were doing out of fear of, being on the layoff chopping block, you also need to just simply own that you are in a season where you are stretched, right? Your time is limited. You are working your high-powered, high-paying job, which probably requires more than 40 hours a week from you, and you're focusing on building your business. Own that season, right? It might be a year of you just going hard at this. And I say this because people, when they think about balance, they think everything has to be balanced all the time. And that's not true. When you look back over your life, right, in old age, you will have peaks and valleys, seasons where this thing was more important and that thing was more important, and you were focusing more attention on that or more attention on this. But when you look at the totality of everything that you've done, it should all balance out in order to get you ultimately to the type of life that you wanted to live. We know this implicitly when it comes to like family obligations, right? Heaven forbid you have a loved one or a parent or someone who is dealing with a health challenge, right? If that was something that you were focused on, you would be like, oh my goodness, this is what we're dealing with, right? 3 days a week, I'm taking my mom, to her, healthcare treatments based on this illness that she is managing, right? And we would automatically start to make adjustments in our life in order to accommodate that, right? Again, maybe we wouldn't be cooking every night. We would get a meal prep service. We would hire a meal prep chef, or, we would at least identify pre-made meals at the grocery store and buy those on the weekend so that we didn't have to worry about it during the week, because we're super focused on caring for an aging parent or something like that. If you had a child that was, getting bullied at school or was dealing with some sort of learning disability or something like that, you would be all in and focused on helping that child, right? And so you would make adjustments. You would tell, your family, no, I'm not going to be able to go to, happy hours with my girlfriends, after work, or we're not going to be traveling or doing these things on the weekends because I want to make sure that I'm spending time with my children, I'm spending time with my family. Like, we would automatically make those adjustments, and we would do it knowing that it's a season, right? And the goal is to get through the season. It's not going to be like that forever. Over the course of a few weeks or a few months, or maybe even the year, we look up, the year has passed, that season is over, and then we focus our attention elsewhere. It's the same thing with you building your business. It's not going to be easy, right? Again, you have a high-powered, high-paying job. Yes, it does require a lot of hours from you, and building this business is going to require time and is going to require energy. You're going to be in a season where you're probably going to be getting up early. You're going to be working on your lunch break. You're going to be working on the weekends, right? No, you're not going to be cooking at home, right? You're going to be using a meal service or something, or you're going to be outsourcing a lot more than you typically do. Maybe you have the housekeeper come every week instead of every 2 weeks, or again, you have dry cleaning coming and picking up your clothes, right? You might be relying more on family and friends to support you. Again, make it known what you are trying to accomplish with the people who love you. Maybe your spouse is going to have to chip in a different arena that typically you handle because they understand what it is that you are trying to accomplish. Again, just own the season. Just say, it's going to be uncomfortable. I'm going all in. I'm focusing my attention on this. But over the course of a year, I am gonna have this booming business. I was making double what I am making at work, and it would have been all worth it. And that's the point. Own the season that you're in. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're very, very serious about building your coaching business and you want everything set up from the beginning, I highly invite you to join me in my brand new coaching certification program. This program will not only get you certified in 90 days, we will help you, if you so choose, to build a coaching brand from scratch. I mean, we tell you everything that you need to do. We give you all of the templates in my signature program, the Next Big Name Bootcamp, which comes with it. If you join that particular package, we can tell you all about it. Go ahead and click the link below in order to learn more. You'll be directed to apply, and if you are accepted, you'll be invited to a call with my enrollment team who will walk you through the entire process. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you can't wait for my next YouTube video, make sure you are subscribed to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next podcast or my next YouTube video, make sure you're following me on both Instagram and TikTok. Yes, I'm finally on TikTok. It's CourtneyLSanders on both. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.